Nitro Kid 98 here today, guys. We're going to be talking about some problems you can have out of your wastegate. And basically the problem could cause something like Skate Flipper 98's been asking me some questions. His car is hitting 5 psi and can't go up anything above that. We're going to be kind of describing what can cause that problem and basically not getting, the boost that you want or over boosting this, that, and the other. There's a couple things that can cause that. Basically, the problems that you can have out of your spring. The one that he showed that he had actually bought wastegate wise is a Amazon, or is off Amazon, like a little $60 wastegate, which would be a Chinese wastegate, would fall in this category. What can happen with your spring is these are not tile quality springs. I can't really say how close they are, really how far off, but they probably use a different steel. And considering this thing's attached to the exhaust manifold, what can happen is basically that heat get a hold of the steel and the spring kind of lower and settle. Now once it does that, it's going to take a little bit longer time for this to contact it. Right there. And basically what that'll do is allow it to open prematurely and the air bypass your turbo. That's how that works. You can see the valve in there opening. Therefore, that might be what's happened. That spring's got a little heat on it. It's settled down, and now even though it's an 8 psi spring, it's only allowing you to hit 5 psi for the fact that it's settled. What can also be the problem, and I've actually seen and heard of this happening, basically they send you 2 5 psi springs. They say it comes with a 5 and an 8 or a 5 and a 10. What I would do, honestly, anytime I get one, and I've done it to my car, go ahead and go on eBay and order you a tile spring for the amount of PSI that you want. Just kind of like a fail-safe. Honestly, these wastegates are pretty good quality, but I mean, it's a $10, $20 spring. Guys, invest that little bit of extra money for a good spring. Now, let's talk about a couple things on your wastegate that can cause a problem and not being able to hit boost. Now, let me explain how the wastegate works. There's a video on the YouTube page, but I'm not going to go over that right now. Basically, what it does, you have a port back here on the wastegate that you hook up to your intake manifold, or you hook up to the turbocharger. I hook mine up to the intake. Basically, once you get 8 psi, the spring sits in there like that, and it starts pushing up on that diaphragm, pushing up on that spring. At 8 psi boost in that diaphragm, it winds up giving. You can have a hole in this diaphragm, and basically what it'll do is once it starts pushing on that spring, it travel the path of least resistance. It's like what the air is going to do. It's going to leak out of that hole in that diaphragm. It could be a little pinhole, it could be a good sized noticeable hole. What I would do to test that feature, or test that problem, put your fitting on there. I was going to put a fitting and a vacuum hose on this and actually do it, but I couldn't find a fitting in the shop. The lights wouldn't work. It was cold. The xenon bulbs didn't want to hit. And I had a little flashlight, so I was having a hard time. Basically, put your little your fitting on there, your banjo fitting. Hook a piece of hose up to it. Basically, open it up, blow in that hose, but spray some soapy water around your diaphragm. If you see bubbles, your diaphragm is bad. Being an eBay wastegate, I wouldn't even worry about replacing the diaphragm. Just go buy another one. That would be exactly what I would do, and that can cause a problem. Another problem you can have, which actually won't correlate with the wastegate, is you can have a boost leak in the system, in between the turbocharge and the intake manifold, basically in your intercooler piping. What you can do, and we'll post a link to one below and how to make one. Don't worry about going out and buying some expensive boost leak tester. Basically, say this is where your turbo pulls in air. You will put it's a boost leak tester. Actually will slide onto this part of the turbo, basically like that, via a coupler. Have a piece of PVC pipe in it, and it'll have a tire valve in it to hold the air in. So basically, once you put it in, it don't go nowhere. And you basically put so many psi on that, or in the system. Spray some soapy water around your intercooler couplers and stuff like that, and anywhere that there could possibly be an opening. If you see bubbles, you have a boost leak through that that place right there, wherever that may be. This is pretty much what could cause the problems with the wastegate. So check that out. See if that might be your problem. Skate Flipper 98. If it's not, hit me up, and we'll see what else it could possibly be. But that pretty much covers a lot of the problems with wastegate. The only other thing I've ever seen is basically where the valve won't seal here. If I can hold the wastegate with one hand still. Basically, the valve won't seal. Some of the little cheap eBays do that. Basically, it's fully closed. You'll have a nice little gap. See that right there? There's actually a little ring it's supposed to go in here and help it seal up, but it's not on this one. Left it in the shop. But basically, that's where we're at. I know this isn't a great video, guys. It ain't perfect, but I'm trying to do the best I can with what I got. But anyways, anybody has any questions, hit me up on the comment section below, or check me out, guys. Don't forget, go like the Nitro Kid 98 Facebook page. You can find me on Facebook under Nitro Kid 98, or look me up facebook.com/Nitro Kid 98. There'll be a lot of good stuff on there, a lot of good information. And don't forget to subscribe, guys. There'll be a lot of good stuff coming with Busted. I know a lot of people are excited to see it. The weather's been abnormally cold here lately, so I've been having a hard time getting out there. And that's pretty much it, guys. Nitro Kid 98.